Hello, I am taking on a challenge to beat every playable Nintendo published game. Welcome to the next episode. The next game is Game & Watch Vermin. The next Game & Watch was released soon after the last one. Only a month had passed between the releases of Flagman and Vermin. Apparently, this one was a pretty big hit for Nintendo. While the previous two were still considered successes, Vermin sold over double the amount of units as its predecessors. You might recognize Game & Watch's brutal down smash from this game. In this game, you play as a man trying to deal with a pesky mole problem. He fights against these moles using the most reasonable and humane solution, bonking them on the head with hammers. Similar to Ball, the only controls here are moving left and right. There are 5 spots for the moles to come out of, and your character moves across spaces 2 through 4. Your hammers cover the spaces to the left and right of your character, so your objective is not to stand over the moles, but instead to stand next to them. Once the mole shows its head, you bonk the mole and gain a point, assuming you lined yourself up correctly. If you fail to bonk the mole soon after it shows its face, you lose a life. Lose all 3, and it's game over. At its core, this one shares a lot of similarities to Ball. You move left and right, and are trying to hit something with proper timing. The biggest difference was that this one moves at a much faster pace than Ball. Since you no longer have to wait for a ball to make its way across the screen, they're able to bombard you with many more moles at once. This increases the amount of points you earn per second, but it also requires you to be constantly on your toes. In general, I think this is a big improvement over Ball for that reason alone. As is the case with every Game & Watch, this game has 2 game modes, Game Mode A and Game Mode B. In Game Mode A, the Vermin comes out of every hole except the middle hole. As you might suspect, Game Mode B simply adds the final mole in the middle spot. This may not seem like too much of a difference, but the middle mole is a bit trickier to think about, since it is the only mole that requires you to aim towards the center to hit. My first run in Game Mode A went smoothly, and I scored a total of 380. I'm not sure if this one was actually easier than Ball for some reason, but I have a feeling I did a lot better on this one since the game did a better job at keeping me engaged. Game Mode B also went smoothly, and I scored a total of 383. These scores were well over the 100 I targeted for the first game, so I decided I was content with these scores. Game complete. On to the review. I enjoyed this one, and it's easy to see why this one sold better than its predecessors. The faster rate of action not only made it more engaging, but the overall difficulty spread felt more balanced, since you weren't just waiting for the moments that required your full attention. However, this is still a very simple high score chaser, so it wasn't really able to capture my attention for long. I gave the game a 6 out of 10. In some ways, I feel a little bad reviewing games like this, since they weren't really designed to be played quickly in a challenge where the objective was to just beat the game. They were intended to be quick, simple games that were to be played in times of boredom, such as long commutes. Despite the relatively low scores I'm giving these games, I do think they succeeded accomplishing their intended purpose. I'm just not too sure I would ever pull one of these out over the other kind of portable devices we have today. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to see more of these in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss out on the next one. And also leave a like if you enjoyed it, since it'll help the channel grow and motivate me to continue this series. I hope I will see you in the next step of my quest to beat every Nintendo game.